This podcast is our 12th episode. If you are interested on the Japanese culture, this book is for you. If you are lost in life, this book is also for you. If you just want to read a light non-fiction book, this one too is for you. With my reading experience on non-fiction, some of them are too academic, too researchy. It's not even a word. And sometimes they require note taking. This one, it's an easy read nonfiction, except that some Japanese words are hard to pronounce, but that is a free tongue twister exercise. What we have in this book podcast is a book entitled Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life, written by Hector Garcia and Frances Miralles. The copyright is year 2016. The book is not too voluminous, about 300 pages, and I am happy to tell you that this book is a good read if you have read other nonfiction about life and longevity, such as How Not to Die by Michael Greger and Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, or A Total Quality Life by Stan Toller. I think those are perfect prelude to these books, although I think you also have other good books that you read previously. It's important that in reading we are critical of the things that are written. It does not mean that what we read or what I read is all there is, or that is an absolute one. I remember how someone made a comment about my podcast on How Not to Die that I posted in YouTube. I was encouraging there that people should eat whole food, plant-based diet to have a long life. And the person said on the comment section that eating a whole food, plant-based diet did not work for him and it made his health worse. It was a long rant and I feel so bad. I think I failed to mention that it may be effective to some but not to others. And who am I to say that that is good for someone or that is bad for others? The book might be scientifically based, but not all people based their practices on science. And I thank that dear commenter on my post for pointing out that I have made a mistake. So now, if you have comments about what am I going to say about this book, you are all welcome. We are all learners in this world, and there is always room for your opinions in the comment section or on our Facebook page. I seriously want to hear your thoughts. So back to the book. My first impression was like some people or the writer did research in Japan, and after the research they want to publish it in a way that is not too academical so that it will be available in bookstores, right in the non-fiction self-help section, where people who are at some point realize that it's high time to read something that could help their brains. Might be a long impression, but I think I'm almost right. So in this book, you will find out what is Ikigai. Basically, I think it's all about mindfulness with a dose of spirituality. It's like a psychology book with a soul, like science with an art. If you're wondering what you can do to live longer, this one has a few pointers to check. The title may be from Japan, but it does not comprise all the stories in Japan. It was just that the research conducted by the writer was in Okinawa and in a village where most super centenarians live, or people who aged 100 years old and above. The Japan thing adds an effect to readers because Let's all be frank here, you know. Sometimes the practices of the Western people bores us, or it bores us already. Maybe that it has become a traditional thing or a common thing to observe Western people, especially that most Hollywood movies are Western, most books are Western based, and social media is dominated by Western people or Hollywood actors and actresses, and despite of their creators to be Asians. With the dominance of the Western pop culture, people want new flavors and variety. So this book emerges with Japanese taste of traditional culture, even if it was written by Europeans. No hate on cultures or races. We just want to identify and paint a clear picture. Why Japan among all countries, okay? Several people who are on old age were interviewed by the authors before this book is written, so it was a nice opportunity to read about the interviews of people with old age. Since I have never met personally a person who is 100 year old. The oldest person I know, I guess, is my grandmother, who is, yes, still alive at the age of 90, but it's so hard to communicate because of hearing loss or hearing problems. And however, these old people interviewed to make this book or interviewed to be part of this book are on the old age and are still active and are not dependent to do any of their activities of daily living. There's no magic in their stories. I tell you, they all have common routine, such as gardening, exercise, walking, talking to friends, smiling a lot, and eating healthily. Life and longevity is such a multifactorial thing. It's a mindset thing as well. One must be motivated to live longer because that is one drive that will encourage you to wake up every day. Several parts of the book were on healthy practices and healthy foods, but the most fun thing I did while I was reading the book was executing the Qigong. There are illustrations, so it was easy to follow. It feels great because being hunched while reading the book is not good for the posture, so doing some exercises while reading is a healthy practice. In the end, I wonder what was I reading already. I mean, in the last few chapters of the book, I forgot about the concept of Ikigai, the happiness of always being busy. I thought I was reading an instructional material of excellent health practices in the world. But of course, as all nonfiction and self help books, we all come up to the common theme on teaching no harm. I learned a new vocabulary as well, which was anti fragility. I feel like now there's a better word for resilience. This book again highlight the work of the author and philosopher Nassim Nicholas Taleb, anti-fragility. I wonder why I haven't read any of his works though. Okay, so final thoughts on this book is that for me, it deals with simple wisdom. And as all self help books that I had read, it encouraged me to be kind, to be kind to myself, as to not stress and deal with the future and past problems. Just deal with the here and now. One thing that I wish to apply in my life from this book is that I would want to try to deal with my pessimistic thoughts and let it come to me, but in the end, I'd have to submit myself to let it go because they are nothing but thoughts. I also would want to try meditation since I think I have already a basic yoga knowledge and they come together like that. I think it will be easy to incorporate meditation in my life. Still, again, let's all be skeptical that not all practices could make our lives longer. We can't hold onto these practices as an absolute step to a longer life. Any time of the day, we could be hit by a car that would end our life. If it's our time to go, that we have to let go. Life may be ephemeral, but that's okay so long as you live your life in the present. Let's all enjoy being young while growing old. Thanks.